Hi, namaskaram everybody. Welcome back to this week's podcast. And in this week, I have came across something really significant which stood out my attention. And I thought I should take some time out of my regular schedule, even though it's busy. So this is the reason I missed in past 2 weeks. I couldn't put out my podcast. I was on a trip, came back, and then regular schedule. So my apologies for that. Anyways, without doing any further delay, I just want to get into exactly the same today's talk. But before that, I really appreciate the people, those who are taking out their time and they're listening to my podcast, my talk, and the guests I'm bringing in. So if you have any idea, if you want to know about any specific topic, and if you want me to bring any specific guest related to that topic, then please feel free to share in the comment section below, which will definitely, I'll try my best to bring that person or try to cover those areas of questions if you have. All right. So today I realized something, that there is a reason the kind of queries I got and the kind of, you can say, the questions or situations I've been getting in last probably few months. So I thought to address this specific thing, because it's not like something in isolation, I would say, because nothing happens in isolation in this universe. If we pay attention to the entire universe, is even today's modern science is saying everything is a reverberation of energy, right? If you can consider a specific, a very small speck of atom, or we can consider the entire universe or the Earth, planet Earth. So it's same essentially in reference to the entire galaxy. The solar system is basically speck. So if I compare or take a reference of the solar system with the Earth, then again, it's again basically is a speck, right? And within that thing, me as a human being making this podcast, I'm just nothing. I'm just a microspec. So it's basically no thing. So if we use this relativity, we basically come across that there's something, all the concerns and the issues probably we are having right now with our grown-ups, or probably if you have an offspring, and you probably also have observed certain patterns within your children. So I'm also considering myself, so that's a disclaimer, okay? Don't call me on this, because I'm also considering myself. Because we as an elder or as a parent, sometimes we miss that thin line. There is a thin line which, if we pay attention, because the way probably we grown up, or maybe our previous generation, there is a significant difference, and you will find the older you go and you do your due diligence, you will find that there is a common thread between all these previous generations. But what what happened exactly after, maybe you can say that when the this internet came and the artificial intelligence, or basically the information technology, when this revolution came, what exactly went wrong, or maybe what exactly we as a society, as an elders, as a parent, we are doing something wrong, where exactly we are missing out, that the next generation which is coming out, of course they are coming through us, right, as a parent, or maybe being as a society, what kind of human being or future generation we are producing, I think is one of the really most prominent factor we need to pay attention to today. Because we just want to don't want to get into the root cause of the problem, to be honest. Because if I open a news channel today, if I open a newspaper, if I listen to any so-called intellectuals, then you see everybody is talking about on the surface level, wants to get into the root cause, or maybe they knew, they are not telling you, or maybe it's other way around, right? So I don't know which is the case, but what I have observed, and I realized that I should definitely cover this thing in my show. And here we are. I know many of my friends, or maybe colleague, relatives, or maybe some of the parents, they may disagree with me on this, but this is nothing personal. So disclaimer is I do not have any children. Biologically, I do not have any children. I'm not married yet. Don't call me on this because yes, I'm unmarried. But the thing is, the experience what I have so far in life and the situations, or you can say the exposure I had, based on that and the live situations I'm seeing in the society today among my friends, colleagues, relatives. So there is a pattern which is basically I came up, I basically, thought through that, and then I thought there is probably is a common pattern. Like I said, in previous generation there was a common pattern that the way we grown up, or maybe our elders they grown up, right? And today's generation, the younger generation, when they're growing, there is also a common thread. The way we are growing them up, right? So there is a common thread, and the irony is this thread is significantly, it is distinct than the previous generation we had, because this is not only distinct, I would probably say with a lot of responsibility that because of this thread, I think this is probably the root cause of all the problems we have, maybe because we today we call somebody has attention disorder, somebody has dyslexia, somebody is a special child, somebody is having attention problems, somebody is dealing with so much stress, anxiety, and which them to basically leading them into depression. Probably in the if we go and dig down, you will see, probably we'll see most of them are not relevant. Most of the time, these allegations and all these terminology they are coming up with every single day, these are maybe irrelevant. There is no such thing called attention disorder. I mean, I want you to draw a distinguished line between them because there is nothing called attention disorder. I repeat, there is nothing called attention disorder because everybody has the specific amount of quality or the amount of the power within them in order to pay attention or focus on something. I think the problem is we as a society, like I said, when the technology came and we started, so you have to admit this, that America is one of the world's affluent nation. So whatever goes into America, it comes back around the world, and the entire world is basically they're trying to copy that. I mean, which is a good thing. I mean, there are so many good things about America, and we can learn, and so many things to admire. When it comes, even I don't think so. This pattern is going on right now in America. I never saw something in basically in the West. I think this is something happening specifically in Asia, and to be more precise, in India. In India, like we are 1.44 billion. So it's yeah, world's highest populous country, I guess. So yeah, the problem is if we do not basically provide the basic necessary the support system for our offspring, so the way they are growing up, it's going to be a disaster for the entire world, not even for only our country, because the tomorrow, so see, we are holding almost 20% of world's population. So this 20%, they're going to multifold and they're going to spread out across the planet, which is a fact. If you don't believe, then go and look the statistical data about the immigration. Okay, you'll get an idea what I'm talking about. So if we are producing incompetent human beings as a future generation, and they are going outside of the country, of course they're going to take the same garbage with them, right? And spreading that thing over there in the new land where they're going. So the point what I'm trying to emphasize is we have a major role to play in the world, as we are having almost 20% of world's population, right? So forget about other nations or going even foreign land. Think about when you are inside India and within the country, how you can make this country more productive, effective, and more prosperous. Because we just have a number, just a 1.44 billion, and because of the number, other people, other countries also look at us as just a marketplace, which is truth, which is a fact. We cannot deny this because unless we basically empower this population which is growing and which is about to come in different ways with the help of different skill set, with the help of the tools we have, in terms of course the information technology, and but more of every other tool. I think there's the basic and the main fundamental tool which we need to pay attention is the human health. When I talk about health, that means I'm considering not only physically fit, physical health, I'm talking about mental health, psychological health, and are we really balanced with the nature? Are we really balanced with the society? Or we are some kind of special case? If this is the thing, we need to address this when we are growing, uh, you know, growing a child. Because we have a kind of we basically subscribed. I don't know from where it came. There could be so many hooks to it. There could be so many reasons. But overall, the thing is, we kind of subscribe to an ideology that we need to have our children to be more competitive. We don't want to make them more competent. We want to make them competitive. So you see what I mean? There is a thing called competence and there is a thing called competitiveness. So there is a world apart difference between them. When you talk about competence, that means you want to develop certain skills, a certain skill set, or maybe you want to grow that child up as a whole human being. So you're looking about the holistic development of a person, right? And you are not only concerned about any specific parameter or criteria, so called. You want to develop the child's mind. You want to develop their child's skeleton system. You want to develop their child's psychological system, the mental health, the psychological well-being, and then also at least the child's intellect should also grow, right? When I talk about intellect, of course the education comes. The child should be able to do decent, at least in the schooling system. I'm not expecting everybody to do excel in their academics, which is the main problem and the root cause of all these issues, because our parents, today's parents, they don't understand. They don't understand that we cannot put everybody in the same parameter and we cannot judge everybody with the same lens. This is just absolutely bizarre when we do that, because we are basically missing that point. Every single individual being, they are capable of doing things which hasn't happened until yesterday. So many new discoveries are happening, so many new things are happening. For example, Elon Musk, you probably heard about him. The guy is running right now, I think he's running close to six companies, but three of them, the major ones, probably everybody um, heard about them. SpaceX. He's running Tesla. Then he's also right now into owner of Twitter. Twitter is became X anyway. It is former Twitter. So you see, so many new inventions are happening. He's invented, basically revolutionized the electric vehicle, and then he came up with this spaceship thing. I just saw a video, like how the huge giant is a kind of probably a huge complex of building, how it's coming, and it's a flying object. This is probably the one of the heaviest flying object. He successfully landed into the and it came back to that specific the rocket launcher area. It was successful. I mean, there are things basically happening today which nobody has imagined. This is basically the live eye-opening example for us. That means we cannot judge and we cannot label everybody with the same parameters which our schooling system, unfortunately our education system is having till now, which British East India Company, they made it just to diminish our capability and to, you know, make a basically nation of clerks. They did not wanted us to be prosperous or to getting into all these other technology, science, and development. They did not want it because they realized we have been already doing those since the time they came, and they realize how we can break them up because we need to break their education system. So they broke our Gurukula education system, which was absolutely based on Indic science, and then they introduced something called English education system, which we are the product of it. And in fact, right now I am using the tongue. There is no way out because it became a global language. There is a no hate. There is a no hatred with the English language. All I'm saying is because it's not the entire United Kingdom came to India to rule us. Just a small trading company came and then they messed up everything. The point is, we don't even bother to think through and do the due diligence and even bringing or reforming our education system, which is again being a democratic nation. So this thing can be done, of course, by the politicians, and the politicians, they will only act when we, being a citizen or the voters, when we give them a mandate. Once we don't give them a mandate, they don't work on that thing, right? You see, during the election time, they work on specific issues because those are the mandated issues. And they will say, if you guys choose me, if you guys bring me back, then we are going to do fulfill all these things like that. Anyways, coming back to the topic. So we parents, we judge our children in terms of the same labeling mark, which is the disaster. This is the basic disaster which is causing all kinds of issues today in the society, because we do not have that probably understanding or intelligence to understand that life which came through us, spending time with them, understanding them, realizing them. Or maybe the best thing you can do, you can become an example for your children, the way you want your children should be. Then your children will start looking up to you. Instead of giving them lessons, instead of giving them teachings, instead of shouting at them every single day, you are not raising, you are not basically you are raising a human creature. You are not raising a human being. And human being, by the way, can be only nurtured. You can only raise cattle. Human being has to be nurtured, because in order to nurture something, you put yourself into it 100%. You try to get involved. There are many other parents I saw in recent times, and I am so happy. I am so happy and so much optimistic after looking at them, that there are parents in the society, those who are trying to bring some changes. They don't look at their child, I think, in the same same way where the maximum society is looking. Today's parents, basically, what is the ideal picture I'm telling you? They want their children to fulfill all the dreams which they couldn't. Then that's a fact. Whether you like it or not, that's a fact. They maybe in their life never got 90%, but they want their children to get 95%. You know what I mean? They want their children to clear all these entrance exams, and probably they never even set one of them. They want their children to be the first in the class in every freaking exam they write. They don't care, they don't bother about the remaining 59 students in their section. They literally don't care. Then, if this is the kind of mindset you have, and this is the kind of teaching you are giving to your child, or indirectly, of course, and you are, bringing up the child in that atmosphere, what do you expect? What do you expect? In the future, you will have a child who is mechanical. When I say mechanical, that means everything they will be doing without using their emotions and intellect. They more probably they will use their intellect, but not their intelligence. They're not going to use their intelligence. In order to use their intelligence, you need human emotion, you need human touch, you need to use your logical reasoning, which you are not giving. You are saying, do this, get 95%, 98%, 99%, and I'm going to give you this gift. What kind of this? You are just teaching your child that, hey, in order to get things done in life, you need to bribe. You are just teaching your children how to be a corrupt human being in the future. And the same person will complain after 10, 15 years when their child has grown up, and they will talk about it. There's so much corruption in the system. No, there is corruption in the system because people like you and me, those who propagated that. You don't have to bribe your child, right? Just spend time with them. Just try to understand, make them understand. And once your child start looking at you, looking up to you, basically, that means that this is the point you should understand, that you do not need any further teaching more on morals, ethics, values. You do not need them. You need to make them more conscious. And once you are conscious, then there is nothing can stop your child to be conscious. Your child will 100% follow you, because up to 14, 15 years, up to their teenage, the children, they literally observe and then they learn. If you tell them, don't do this, they are going to 100% chance that they are going to do the same thing, because this is the age, and at this age there are so many things happening, hormonal changes, and the child is basically observing, is wondering, looking at the everything, and trying to capture as much as memory, as much as thing they can record in their memory, right? So they will do those things which you are doing basically in your house, you are doing in your life. Of course they will notice you, then they are noticing you. In fact, they're observing you, and the same kind of manifestation will happen. If not today, after 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years down the line, it is inevitable. Nobody can stop this. So the quick fix and the permanent fix would be, we being, as an elder or maybe a parent, we need to change our this attitude towards growing up our children. We need to change, we need to bring some changes, and these changes are not hard. I believe this thing can be done. The first thing is, we need to look at our child not by comparing XYZ, how their children is doing. No, not comparing them. Your child is very unique. Every human being is unique. Your child has the amount of possibility your child has. Probably other XYZ you are comparing, they do not. So you have to understand, for a specific test or specific exam, if they are not getting the percentage which you already made up in your mind, it doesn't make any sense. This is really, really irrelevant from the today's perspective, I'm telling you. So we should not be only too much stringent about the percentage or marks. We should enhance, we should create the ambience, we should create the atmosphere in the house, we should create the atmosphere within the child's mind, and then we should become an really that kind of person. Or maybe we should try to show some example or some things which is visual for the child. Then the child start looking at you. Then you don't have to tell so many things. There will be so many things without telling, you will get the result, because child is observing you, and the child will get it. Okay, this is the way what my father is doing, and he is making sure he is following. For example, if you're talking about yoga, if you're asking your child to, okay, do yoga and exercise, if your child is not doing, of course, because you are not doing, you have to freaking wake up early in the morning. I know, which is hard for most of the parents. Yes, please wake up early in the morning. Take out some time. Do half an hour yoga, exercise, whatever you want to do. Maybe you're going for a walk. Do that. Whatever is physical fitness definition for you, do that. You will see that within couple of weeks, your child will pick that up. You can, mark me on this. Your child will pick it up, and there will be day your child will come and join you. How about that? So these are not rocket sciences, very tiny, minor things which we need to fix. We need to bring these changes within us. And once we do that, our child will do the things without me being even telling them, me as a parent being telling them. They will understand what exactly our parents they want, what they want to say. They will get the message. These are called emotional intelligence, and they will get it. So the very first thing is, maybe you can start simply, you can start with your physical fitness, maybe you can start with the yoga, some exercises. Wake up early in the morning if you haven't already, and show the way, show the path to your child, and your children will follow that, and then you will have a good relation, good understanding. Probably you have a good understanding, but it'll become more inclusive, and that confluence will bring more prosperity, more joy in your life than your child. And once your child see you are joyful, you are happy throughout the day without being any reason, no reason, then your child, there's no question about that your child will be in depression. No, because the kind of atmosphere you're creating in your home, and in that atmosphere your child is growing up, your child will inevitably, he or she will be helpful, he or she will be joyful, happy throughout the day. And these are the consequences. So there are very basic things we need to change, rather than looking at the we are just looking at the result. My son is not getting this much percentage, he's for in this specific subject, percentage went down, so and so somebody else is doing good. Stop comparing all these nonsense. Your child, your son is very unique, very specific, very special. If you are comparing with somebody else's child, that means you're just destroying the possibility of your child, so that your child could be a special one. You're just destroying that. So I wanted to pass this message to the parents. There are many significant ways to improve a child's attention, focus. Maybe your child is not paying attention on the things which you want, because maybe he or she hasn't found yet any interesting about that specific thing. Maybe a subject. Somebody is not interested in math. That's okay. So what we can do? We have to create, or we have to show that or introduce that thing, for example, specific aspect of mathematics, which can make him or her very interesting, right? Could be, maybe if you know, as a parent you can, or otherwise your tutor or teacher, they can do it. So for this you need involvement. Once you do this, then your child also observe that, yes, my parents, they don't know this thing, how to teach me math, but they're bringing me to a specific teacher who understand me, who understand my mentality, who understand my interests. So see, there are many ways, like I said, to address this, rather than just labeling your child is dumb, is not doing good. You're just destroying his or her life. And who knows, this could be one of the main reason that they're getting in these days. Child they are getting into depression, anxiety. Most of them, they're becoming antisocial. They don't know how to behave in the society, in the given society. They don't interact with the people. This is not, absolutely not their fault. This is our fault. We being as an elder, we being as a parents, we missed this specific thing. I believe it's not too late. We can still fix it. It's never too late, right? Until or unless we are alive, we are still breathing. I think it's never too late, so we can fix it. All we need to is, like, we need to self introspect within us, and then we can come up with the, okay, these are the things which I have done wrong and I need to fix it. So you do your introspection. I'm not giving any prescription. First of all, you do your own prescription. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's life situation is different. Everybody's family structure is different. So you have to think about yourself, and then you have to think about your child. Before thinking about child, you need to think about yourself. What are the things I need to change? I need to bring changes in me, and then the same thing will flow into your child. Yeah, that's everything. So I don't want to stretch it further. So the takeaways before telling our children or giving them teaching which you probably know by now because they don't care. They don't give a damn about the teachings, what we do. They only care about what exactly we're doing. They follow us, they observe us. So start implementing, start bringing those changes within you. The way you want to grow your children, the basic thing is bring or introduce those things or qualities within you. You will see things will get into place. Your child will really getting into the track, and things will really improve. And that's everything for today's show. I hope you enjoy the show, and if you yes, then please feel free to like, follow, and subscribe and show your love. And like I said, don't forget to share your idea if you want me to cover for future episodes the topics, or if you want me to bring any guest on specific things. I'll do my best. That's everything, guys. Until next episode, it's over and out. See you. Namaskaram.